Hi guys, I made these sweet and sour prawns recently and it really took no work or time at all. It was so quick and easy, but still packed buckets of flavour. I did make it easier and healthier by lightly stir frying the prawns instead of deep frying them in batter. First, I made the sauce by adding about 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce to a jug, then a tablespoon of Shaoxing wine, 2 tablespoons of Qingqiang vinegar, that's black rice vinegar. Then I added 5 tablespoons of water, but you could use stock if you prefer. Next, I added 5 tablespoons of caster sugar, then about a teaspoon of sea salt flakes, and about a half a tablespoon of flour. I'm using plain flour, but potato flour would be best. Now stir that all up until it's nice and smooth and incorporated and there are no more lumps from the flour, and then set it aside. Now take a pestle and mortar and to that add some of these Sichuan peppercorns. These have such a beautiful perfume and a really nice flavour as well and provide a subtle heat. I say add at least a tablespoon. Now bash them up as well as you can. These are actually kind of more like popcorn kernels than black peppercorns in that the casing surrounding them really gets stuck in your throat and on your tongue, so make sure you really pulverise them. Adding a pinch of salt to your pestle and mortar can help because it really creates friction and just makes everything you grind up a lot easier. Once you're happy with how it's ground, then just set it aside until later. Now take 2 spring onions, remove the roots and separate the whites from the greens. Save the greens till later. Now cut the whites into really fine, thin slivers, as thin as you possibly can. Now gather them up and place them into some cold water to rest. This will cause them to curl up, which will be really nice for presentation. Now do the same with a fresh red chilli. Take off the top, split it open, remove the seeds, and then slice it in as thinly as you possibly can before putting it into the cold water as well. Now take 2 cloves of garlic and about the same amount of ginger, peel them, and then chop them up as finely as you can. You can use a microplane grater for this or a garlic crusher or whatever you want. I'm just using the knife. Once it's all finely chopped up, just set it aside and finally slice the green parts of your spring onions. Discard the ends if they're wilted or tatty. After that, it's time to start cooking. Now heat a wok over a high heat and add about 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. I'm using rapeseed oil here, but groundnut or peanut oil would be authentic. Just make sure that it's flavourless. Then I added about 350 grams of raw prawns. These have been shelled and deveined and will take no time at all to cook. Add the Sichuan pepper and stir fry for just a few minutes until they're done. You'll know this once they turn from grey to a light pink. This literally took me 3.5 minutes. Once pink, scoop them out and place them into a serving bowl while you make the sauce, which is a matter of minutes. You'll need about 2 tablespoons of oil in the wok, so add another little drop if you need to. Once it's hot, add in your ginger and garlic and stir fry for just about a minute until it becomes really aromatic and beautiful. Then give your jug of sauce ingredients another stir and pour it in. Now just stir this sauce over a high heat until it reduces and becomes really thick and intensely flavoured. That took me about 3 minutes. Now add in the green part of your spring onions, stir them just really briefly before you take the wok off the heat and pour over your prawns. Now strain the spring onion and chilli slivers and scatter them over the prawns. They'll have mellowed in flavour after soaking, so don't worry about them being too hot. This really was so flavoursome and really easy as well. It took no time cooking, no time prep. The prep can be done ahead of time, so it's a win-win on all stages. And you don't have the added fat of the deep fried batter either. I just served it with some boiled rice and some of my really healthy Chinese pak choy and shiitake mushrooms. So that's it. I hope you give this recipe a go. You can literally be eating it 20 minutes after you get home from work. It's so worth doing. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to give me a like and subscribe below. You can check me out on social media. You'll find all the links to my accounts in the description below, as well as the link to my blog where you'll find this full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.